Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Campbell's Comments on Loose Lines, riding solo again. Although we'll have a couple of special guests tonight. A little bit later on, Troy Harley's going to join me from, Greyhound Racing Australia, I suppose, Neil. He holds a few different titles, but definitely my volume's working, which is always good that the volume's working, I must say. I like that part. I've just got to do a couple of little things here and a couple of setting changes. Turn that one off and hopefully this will work a bit better. Troy's going to join me from the Greyhounds about a very special cause, I suppose, but we'll also have a couple of random chats. I know me and Troy do that. And Daniel will join me after the last is about 6:35, I think, tonight at Bendigo. The Campbell's Comments Greyhound race has been run and won. I'll just quickly have a look to see who actually won that. Cool Stone won that, so well done. Time-honoured race. They have one every week for me, but hey, that's okay. That's what I can do with this show. Tonight's topics have got a couple of topics lined up tonight, and I want people to get involved and share their thoughts and their ideas. Is how we consume our racing, I suppose, is the best way of actually putting it, and go from there. Philip Wood, hello to you. Alex Hurley, how we consume it in this day and age now, where I think Alex Hurley will be down at the footy watching the boys train. Good luck to her. It's pitch black outside here, and Romsey will be very, very cold. But the way which we can watch our chosen sport, if we like to call it that, the racing, and how we consume it, how we can take it all in these busy schedules that people have, and including tonight, like at Geelong tonight. I've got the results up here in front of me. I'm not that smart, but the first race was run at 7 minutes past 5. So it is still light outside, just that a lot of people would like to be able to watch, still do things. The days are so much shorter. It's very hard to get everything finished this time of year by 5 o'clock. I wouldn't know that because my wife's outside. I don't go outside. Anyone wanting to know before they give me a hard time. Kiwi guys are on. Timmy White and Graham Hand. Hello to you guys. Welcome again, and please get involved in it. I'll be interested to see how the New Zealanders do. Graham Hand is actually a dairy farmer, so how he would actually be able to watch it, I would imagine, would be very time sensitive as well for certain times of the year. Mr. Remy won race number 2. The APG offers 2.2 in prize money. Vic Bread race, and then race number 3 is actually on as we speak, and we might, can't remember if I can get this one to work as well and it doesn't crash me feed. Hopefully it doesn't. We might be able to make sure I don't have the audio going through. Morgan Art, Jackie Barker. Jackie's having a terrific run. I think it's about win number 3 for her this week, so well done to Jack. And Morgan Art beat Machiavelli, and 4 Lonely Nights, a random horse. Who drove him tonight? Chris Elford drove him tonight, so it can be a bit of a handful. It was a good run the other night at Bendigo. Tracy Commodore from Benstud is watching as well. Timmy White, good evening to you, Timmy. I'll get into trouble for this, Timmy. You're going to get me in trouble because Benstud actually have given me a hat. I don't believe it's here on the floor, so Trace will tell me off for that, but that's fine. So please get involved in it. Just like having a bit of fun here. Cover off on a few topics. This is the 3rd time that I've been going this week, and it's the 3rd time I've been on air. Graham Hand, I don't know if he's watching or not, but Wacky's hat on. I can talk about him as well, but Graham's very cheeky there, saying that Bardo will be happy with the Blues. I thought when I read that at first he'd be happy with the sale the other day, but no, he didn't get him in a maroon jersey this time. Graham, I hope that's the right terminology. Jersey. You rugby guys can get a bit sensitive about some of these things, but he definitely was. I think a little bit happy. He was a bit tired when I was talking to him. He had a great sale just the other day, so that computer and me are just not. I tried it the other night, and for some reason, just not playing the game at the minute. Oh yeah, there it is there. Okay, so we will get that one up bigger. We will make sure that the volume's not down low. But fire your questions in. I cheekily call this Harness Racing's #1 talkback show. I don't know. I don't know if too many other people do it like this. It's here to have fun. I want people to set the conversations as best they can. I'll give out some topics from time to time, but I definitely want people to be able to set the topics. Galen McKinnon, I got a real New Zealand feel happening, or vibe happening at the minute. I'll throw me one of my other Kiwi hats on. I don't know if the nude nut's going to be watching or not, Cambrai, but we'll put this one on for a sec. So please get involved. Last week's topics, how we can get people to the industry in a different light as well. So there's a couple of key subjects I want to try, or topics that I want people to be able to get involved in, if you like, and get the message out there, please, so that we can make people think. I don't know whether powers that be watch me show or don't watch me show, and quite frankly, it doesn't worry me if they do or they don't. I put this show out for the people that tune in and want to have a bit of fun and contribute on a regular basis, and that's always been my the main part of why I do this show. So please feel free to fire those questions in and go from there. Graham Hand said there before about Mark Barton and being cock-a-hoop about the Blues. I think he'd be reasonably satisfied with the sale the other day for Nutrien in the Yerby complete dispersal sale. Now, there is a buy. You can buy these horses. I'm going to actually do this while I remember it now. Buy now. So a lot of the horses didn't sell. When I say a lot of the horses, there was a margin of the horses that didn't sell. I think overall it was a very good sale, and we'll touch on a couple of those highlights when I get through to it. This is the Nutrien Equine website up on screen there, and this is what you do when you type in nutrienequine.com.au. This will bring you to this platform here. Normally I'd send you to the standard bred section, just down underneath. See the quick links there? Click on Yerby dispersal sale buy now prices. It's a PDF and it doesn't want to work. It did work before, but it'll take you to the no. For some reason it's not working. Maybe I have to click on that. No, it doesn't want to work. The rest of the platform will. I've got no doubt about that. We'll go down here to the results. No, no. Just not working. That's okay. I'll get off that, but yeah, go into that and it will give you the results, and you can go to the buy now section of that. So please get involved with that. Yes, Trace, I at least see the small wonders these days. Trace Commodore, making sure I pronounce her name right. Tracy Judd was a lot easier, but we won't go there. Mark will get a little bit unhappy about that. There's that many hats down there. I've got a hat stand in the making, so I can get them up, Trace. Don't worry about that. There is a chance that it is there. Great sale, though. Anyone that did miss it or didn't tune into it, great sale. Sale topper was a broodmare by Sweet Lou called Treasure Me out of Revere Me. The mare was $99,000, but terrific sale. There is still quite a few horses that are for sale that you can purchase now on the buy now schedule, but some really good results for connections. Caladesian Lombo was one of the first ones there, sold for $10,000. A filly out of Better Dreams for $10,000. That was a 2-year-old filly. There's a few others there. She's a Keeper was $8,000 as well. Then we got a few of these other mares. We start getting into the mares here, and they started getting some really nice prices. $10,000, $18,000 for the beautifully bred Elizabeth Kelly going to the Pickers. The Blue Lotus, good price as well, $26,000 for that mare there. $15,500 for Party Delight. $7,000 for Rockin' Lulu. Going to Baluk. I'll get that wrong. Back Bolac Standardbreds, which I think has an association with Louise Tourman, but not 100% sure. So it does go to there. Treasure Me, as I said, $99,000. $33,000 there for Panorama Sunshine. $12,000 for Rarefied Air. Then we go to $12,500. When we get to some of the weanlings, and the weanlings sold terrific. There are a couple of weanlings still available, but there's not a lot. But yeah, Panorama Sunshine for $12,500. Lombo La Fifi, $22,000 for the colt out of Lura. Treasure Me, $52,500. Terrific prices. I'm sure Rod's wrapped in these. Mainland Banner colt, $23,000. $9,000 for the Eyes of Courage. $16,500 for Artista Lombo. $46,000 for the Colt out of the Blue Lotus, bought by Robert Watson of Soho Standardbreds. Riona Sassy at 11.5, $34,500 for Ocean Diva. Robert got very keen, buying a few horses on the sale. $10,500 for Significant Arts, and $8,000 for the filly out of Rarefied Air. $22.5 for Trick or Treat Lombo. $14 for Elizabeth Kelly, bought by PG and AM Campbell Proprietary Limited. That is not me. Definitely not me. Bardo doesn't pay me that much at all. Especially made Lombo for $34,000, and over the last page $17,000 for Let Us Dance, and quite good figures for the rest. The last one there was Sherry's Angel, bought by Michael Boots for $8,000. So you can see all those prices. As I said, just basically go to the Nutrien site, and instead of, I'll actually get it back up, but just go to that part there. So that's the home page. Just go down to the bottom to the Euroby dispersal sales, and you'll be able to view it all there. So that's all the results and the buy nows. So there'll be possibly some people out there keen to get involved in the buy nows and go from there. So please get involved with some of your comments. If people want to get involved on how you watch the race, do you watch them in replays? Do you watch them live? Do you tune into Trots Vision, Sky Channel? Do you watch one of the ones? Maddie Ray. Hello to Maddie Ray. Congratulations, Maddie. Hopefully you stay on for the whole show. And I will go through the Shepparton Fields last night, but congratulations. Great to see Maddie back in the winner's circle. So very good to see Maddie joined in. Do you watch the Facebook feeds that HRV now put out where they show the last 300 or 400 metres? Is that enough for you? Do you do what I do? I watch the replays. I watch the results as they come across the feeds, and basically if I see 1, 3 and 5, I know they're all horses on the fence, tend to not really tune in too often, so I won't don't watch those ones. Shelley Wicks from Bendigo as well. Hello to you, Shell. So it's one of those ones I want to know how people get involved with it and partake in it now. I don't think it's the same as what it used to be. It's changed, and how we can change it. The other one I want to do, keep on to how do we promote it. So please, there's people out there with different ideas, so please get involved with that either way. It'll be all, I think it's a lot of fun. I think there's good ways of actually being able to promote our sport in very, very different ways.
For every stage of your horse's career, find your edge with the Barristock Racing range of feeds.
Welcome back. Got to look after my sponsors wherever I can. Dennis Howe is on there. I think Dennis was up in sunny Darwin just recently, so well done to him for getting away. Another thing, I probably could do that, favourite getaway point. That might be next week's topic. See if we can't get any interaction. This one at the minute is actually not working all that well, so haven't had too many people get in with a different answer. So as I said, it might be a short show because I've had a fair bit going on this week, and go from there. Just as I said, one of the other parts I want to know, like the radio, do we listen to the radio with the races in the car when you work and Dennis Howe gets out and works? Do we still do that, or do we again just sit at home, get on the computer, quickly skim through 10 races, 12 races when you're not there? I suppose the other part is, if you're at the races, do you watch the Trots Vision feed, or do you watch the Sky feed on your phone? Is that how you partake it? Take in the content as it goes along. So plenty going on. As I said, bit of a quiet night for feedback, if you like. Definitely a quiet night for feedback. But .G, I accept your apology, but what is the question this week? How do you watch your harness racing? How do you take your racing in, if you like, So do you watch it on a phone, watch it on a tablet, watch it on a computer? Do you watch it live? Do you watch the replays? Do you still watch Sky Channel? Do you watch Trots Vision when it's on? Do you watch Trots Vision when there's no hosts on? Do you watch it when there's hosts on? I just want to know how people get around to getting it. So that's why Graham Hand got involved for me. Thank you very much, Graham. He watches them on the TV. So Graham's in New Zealand. not Australia. Then the replays online if he misses them. And I'm sure, like, Graham owns quite a few horses, so I'm sure there'd be probably a lot of replays that he gets to watch them and go back that way. But yeah, that's what I'm after, how people do it. And sort of, to be honest, a bit of an educational thing for myself to see whether what I'm doing works, how I can improve it, and different ways we can modify it, if you like. And the other old chestnut is the radio, 927. The trots don't get much of a run on 927. They use SEN. We can't get SEN here in the bush. Who listens to the radio and who does things through the radio as much as we can? So yeah, .g Trots Vision. Watch my horses live on track. If my horses are racing, she'll go to Ballarat and go to Melton. That's the other thing. How many people love just to get out and go to the races when they can, and be around with people. Sky Channel for Tracy Commodore, and then the replays. So they're the sorts of thing I'm after. Just that bit of feedback. Two people, two different things, and go from there. It's a funny one. A lot of people still don't know how to find Trots Vision and the likes. But with the Queensland Carnival, I must say I'd flick back to the Sky Channel coverage. If you can get a tablet, is actually really handy, because you can almost watch it full screen. What they've done over here with the TAB and those minimised screens. But if you have a tablet, a good sized tablet, you can still get maximum size on that and sit up here in my office and do some work and be able to watch the racing and the quality racing from Queensland as well, which has been really, really good. But yeah, that's the way I tend to like to watch it. Got a couple of guests going to come on. As I said, Troy Harley will be on shortly. He won't be far off actually giving me a bell, because he did say about 6:20. Talk about a thing that's on at the minute, which is very special to him in the greyhound world, but I think it's something the harness people need to be made aware of as well. So right now everyone's getting involved. Blanche Pool, Trots Vision. I'll go this way. Where do I go? Trots Vision, then replays online if we miss a race we wanted to watch. Philip Wood, TV or replay, and in the car when driving. I hope he's saying listens to the radio and not driving when he does that. Yep, spot on. .g, Melton and Ballarat have very good facilities, especially this time of year. Alex Hurley, I watch with my eyes closed so I don't see them make mistakes. I know Alex Hurley goes to the races and actually watches it, because I've done a show live and she came up because I was talking to her and said, if you're watching, come up, and she came up. So she does watch the Trots Vision. We watch Sky Channel, the Newberries, and then complain when they get dumped on the Sky 2, which is a problem. Watch Trots Vision some nights, only go to the track when we have horses in. Why do you only watch Trots Vision on some nights, Marie? Would love to know the answer to that one as well. Thank you very much for a bit of feedback and going there. And as I said, Philip Wood, I hope you don't watch it while you're driving and going along. So yep, that's the crux of this. Harness Breeders Victoria vote for your favourite foal closes tonight, I believe. .g will double check that. If you haven't voted for one, top left hand corner, the little bloke with the white star for Dot. But obviously everyone else in there's probably a lot of people that watch my stuff and would be watching that. Good luck to them. Good luck to everyone that's involved and doing things with that. So, yep, make sure you go to Harness Breeders Victoria, their official page on the Facebook, and vote on that. Don't vote on one that people have shared. So tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, that closes. So get on the Facebook feed and go from there. Make Desiree's job hard. She gets her job too easy, Desiree does sometimes. And yeah, if you can make her job a little bit trickier, it can go from there. Greg Norman is watching there. So I think Aladdin raced over a week ago. So the Charlton Knights are going good. Daniel Hibbard won't be far off joining me as well. But as I said, I've got Troy Harley there before me as well. So what I'm going to do is actually throw in one more of my sponsors' ads. Look after. Right, Troy Harley now joins me on the road. He's having a few issues with a few things, getting a little bit of feedback. But firstly, Troy, welcome back, mate. Been a while since I've had you on the show.
Yeah, it's been a long while. You've obviously got bigger and better things to do these days than talk to poor old me, but it's good, mate. No problem.
We have a little bit of a run and joke, myself and Troy too, about people that self-promote and everything else like that. I'm sure every time I put up Australia's #1 harness racing show, you get a nice little cringe about that one, Hales.
Yeah, I've sort of been flicking through the socials to see where the competition is, but at least we'll say #1 at the moment. It's not a lie.
Well, you got to have some fun, and I will say I am comfortably got my tongue firmly in my cheek when I put that one out there. But if it makes people watch, we've got a few comments on how people watch the races, and I might get your thoughts on that, Troy, when we finish this conversation. But we're here to, I suppose, raise awareness for a few things. One, the greyhounds. The greyhounds are going gangbusters at the minute.
Yeah, mate. The momentum from COVID has certainly continued in greyhound racing, or I think probably tapered off a little bit the other two, but we seem to keep going forward and capture that audience and maintain that audience at the moment, which is a good thing, and obviously a test through the footy seasons and stuff to see how that goes. But locally, there was plenty of representation. The big $1 million Pink Diamond night at Ballarat the other week, and a few of the Bendigo locals got an earn there, and both as trainers, owners and breeders, and they continue to make feature race finals and win plenty of races each and every week.
Mark Morrissey did all right. The Morrissey name's a name a lot of harness people will know too, so well done to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, God bless it. The $8 was very, very nice, Ben Chester, and the local Quella with the $71 ridiculous price of Blue Tick Fern, the $98 Quella was a nice, easy way to drive home from the studio in Melbourne.
Will indeed be. Now, Hales, you can't see because you are driving the car at the minute. I've got a lovely photo of you right as we speak of today's show. So I want to tell people, firstly, go to the Bendigo Greyhound Racing Show Facebook page to watch the full interview of yourself and Charlton. Charlton took over your job at Bendigo, but to get an understanding of what the Mark Hughes Foundation and Beanies for Brain Cancer is all about, Hales. But it is a cause that's pretty close to your heart, and we want to make sure people in Victoria start to understand it and embrace it a little bit more, because it's pretty much centred around the rugby guys, so there's a fair bit of meaning to it.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, Beanies for Brain Cancer is Australia-wide, both through Mark's Foundation, obviously Gary Big Balls as well, and they work hand in hand. But obviously, being an Novocastrian and having known Mark Hughes since he was a boy, and he was in my brother's class and footy teams at school, and obviously came through the Knights, and he won a premiership there at the Rugby League, and he's battled brain cancer himself, as has my mother and a few other people we know. So it's certainly a charity and a cause close to our heart, and just the statistics are not too different to ovarian cancer, I suppose, but the statistics of survival and knowing much about brain cancer have been pretty steady. But in recent weeks, the New South Wales government, in conjunction with Mark Hughes Foundation, a $25 million research centre being built in Newcastle, and these Beanies for Brain Cancer, the Mark Hughes Foundation, made a contribution to that, not just to the funds, but also to make the politicians, everyone else, aware of this disease and try and find a cure, and at least get a bit more information about it. But yes, there's Beanies for Brain Cancer round in NRL this weekend. The Rugby League get massively behind it, and the Storm actually kick off around this week in Sydney against Manly on Thursday night. And the Bendigo Greyhounds are running their Beanies for Brain Cancer race night on the same weekend, which will feature the Mark Hughes Foundation Prospector Final and the Beanies for Brain Cancer Roses. And there's been 7 or 8 sponsors have come on board and thrown in $500 each there for race name straight to the charity. The club's made a reasonable donation through Beanies. There'll be Beanies for sale as well. And I think on Friday night there'll be plenty of awareness raised, as well as hopefully somewhere around the $8,000 mark.
Yeah, good. I mean, it's a great cause. And we want to raise money so that they can. And I think I saw Mark saying somewhere about the money they need is so important right at the minute. But it is also that awareness, isn't it?
It's a bit of both. Obviously, the money goes to the research and the funding projects and that type of stuff, which is so important, as we've seen through MND and other fundraising as well. But also that awareness, which I think, as Duncan's mentioned plenty of times about ovarian cancer, the statistics are a surprise, and the illness creeps up on you, the disease creeps up on you, and brain cancer does the same. You can go from basically having a bout of headaches and taking a few Nurofen thinking everything's fine to all of a sudden knowing there's a hell of a lot more going on, and the survival rate's pretty ordinary. So the more people know about it, the more they think about it, the more they make sure they tick that box or cross that box that they aren't suffering or have got some sort of indications if they are, and then get them following on treatment. So awareness equally as important as financial benefits.
No, definitely. And that is what it is all about. So to go to, if you're on Facebook, most people watching this show are on the Facebook, buy a beanie. Go to down the bottom there, the Mark Hughes Foundation Facebook page. You can see all the tags there as well, and you can get involved that way. You can send a message to get more information on it that way. You can go to the Bendigo Greyhounds. I'm sure you could probably go to most greyhound racing places, Troy, to get some more information on it.
Yeah, mate, Bendigo at this stage is the main club doing it, obviously with a connection there, and we'll have some bees for sale as well. But the Mark Hughes Foundation website's got a stack of information there, and if you want to support there and buy some bees online, there's $25 bees for this year. There's a few of the older stock are a little bit cheaper as well, or donations, or if you want to have a fundraising and get involved with that type of stuff as well, there's links through their website to be able to do that as well. It's at markhughesfoundation.com.au, and we're up at the mall the other day, up at the plaza, I should say, the other day here at Bendigo, and the Lowe's there are selling Mark Hughes Foundation beanies as well. So if you can't get to the dogs or get in line, and you pop up to the shopping centre, you can go to Lowe's there, and they've got the Mark Hughes beanies on sale there.
No, it's a great cause. I will say the other thing I do like, and I'm definitely not potting the other ones, very tasteful beanies. You can actually wear them everywhere. They're subtle. That is all you get. The top of Troy's Buffont then is just the M and the bigger H and then the F, but a subtle pink and a subtle bone, mate. They're lovely colours, actually. I think they look really good.
Yeah, they do them. They get a couple of different people to design them each year, and they're all different each year. I think we've got half a dozen of them now, and they've always been a pretty simple and easy to wear beanie, and easily identified, and $25 is going to a pretty good cause, so the more the merrier.
No, it definitely is indeed. And I would have one on. I've got a couple of them, but I've got too many hats. I've got no idea where they are. So you find that hard to believe. You would find that hard to believe, mate. But yeah. All right, mate. I'll let you go. School holiday, so I've got a fair idea. You might have one in the car that might be on her best behaviour, so you're going pretty good there.
She's not here at the moment. I'm on the way to pick her up. She's a catcher these days, so we drop her off early to go to the dogs and have a few catches. I reckon she's got a few trials on, so I might be sitting in the car for a little bit. So I'm on my own at the moment, which isn't a bad thing.
I love Kayleen. She brings some action and atmosphere, but we've got a reminder that it's a G-rated show, so we could have some fun. I could get pulled off the airways pretty quickly, Hales, if that was the case, mate.
Yeah, she can get a bit colourful.
I'll let you go. Enjoy the sunny weathers of Darwin next week. I reckon that's going to be my topic next week. I already got next week's topic, where people go to escape winter. And I think Darwin and that's going to be pretty high on a few people's agendas, mate. So you enjoy that.
We normally cash in on winter and go to something a bit cooler and we'll look at a bit of snow and stuff like that. But obviously, got a brother up there, so we're heading to Darwin, see how it was a bit dirty this morning. She said it dropped below 30 degrees. She's still here, so what a sort.
Hales, thank you. We must catch up again one day soon. No, I must say we must get in, do some fun on the deck here at Bendigo once the weather warms up a bit, mate.
Sounds good.
All right, mate. I'll let you go. Thank you very much, Troy.
No worries, mate. And as far as watching races goes...
Oh, sorry. Yes.
You're the producer, but I'll just throw that in there. You take a lot of opportunities to watch them live these days. Unless I've had an investment or got one in myself, but most of the stuff's on replays. And whether it's that night, I'll watch them on the Tab app and watch replays where I can. Otherwise, it'll be to the relevant code, which is all three of them's websites, and watch the replays. I want to watch some. I'll just watch the last couple of hundred. Some will watch the full race, but most of it these days is done after the event.
It was you that actually put this thought process into my mind, because you were talking and you said that because of the kids constantly having football. Kayleen's catching tonight at the Greyhounds, that you're always out and about. You don't get to actually see them, and that's what brought it up. I wonder, we target our audiences in a funny way, thinking that everyone is sitting at home ready to watch race number 4 at Geelong, which is about 40 seconds away. The brother's driving in it, Hales. I did talk to him today. He didn't tip it, so if it wins, it's not my fault, all right? But it is an interesting thing, and I get quite a few little bits of feedback. Peter Ramirio's one is very, very funny. But yeah, I find myself not watching. The main time I watch a race is live is right about now when I'm doing this show. Other than that, I tend to watch them in replays, or as I said the other night, sit down with Sky Channel on when it's a good night of racing at Queensland and Melbourne and the crossover. I sort of enjoy the wall-to-wall racing. I think it's still got its place, but I might be.
I'm a little bit that way. If I want to watch it, I'll just sit there and watch races for fun and watch them till I'm out of bed. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. Just sit there and watch it. But one good thing is obviously the advent of being able to watch them on your phones. While I'd prefer to watch it on TV, and we've spoken before about these coverages, get them on YouTube so we can just watch them on the TV instead of watching them on a small screen. But if you're out and about, you're on a tractor or you're out shopping, you just don't want anyone to see or whatever, or pull up to a pub to watch a race, you can just watch on your phone and then watch the full replay later on when you get home.
Yeah, no, definitely. I tend to. It's a funny little world we live in now, but yeah, if you're watching Campbell's comments, if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like. That's what they say all the time, Hales. You've got to do those things. You're watching Harness Racing's #1 online show if you're watching on my YouTube page. How am I going, Hales?
But all I know is that if I'm watching you on my 75-inch, I want to make sure you got a header on. I don't want that head shining off my lights.
Well, you wait, you see the photo I've got of you, and you're going to be going, I can't believe he did that. But it is something that's very close to my heart. We've been banging on about it for a long time, that all TVs have YouTube, and we don't embrace it as a racing product anywhere near where we should be. It is a great product, YouTube, and the fact you can sit at home and watch it on your big screen TVs, these sorts of shows and others, I think is underutilised resource that we should do something about. So I think it's key. Right, mate, I will let you go. The brothers settled for the fence in a 6-horse field, so he's got one outside of him, but first starter, so we'll wait and see how this race ends up, race number 4, mate. But thank you very much, Hales, and we will catch up in the near future, mate.
No worries, mate. Talk soon.
It's Troy Harley. I'll take the photo off, but yeah, beanies for best. Buy a beanie, so it's beanies for brain cancer, not breast cancer. Beanies for brain cancer. And definitely go to the Mark Hughes Foundation. That is the Facebook page there. It's a great cause. So, and go from there. Race number 4, while we're talking about watching races, I've got John Justice in front. I haven't got the field up in front of me, so it makes it a little bit tricky. The other first starter, James Herbertson's out the back, just a little bit green. I can very quickly. John Justice is on another near and has had 4 starts. Good field this, actually. There's quite a few. Sam Domenic's had 2 starts. Louis Luai has had the 1 start. He's, of course, a Sweet Lou. And Spicy Major for Jody Quinlan, the 1 start for a 3rd. They're just going down the back. Would make the show much more fun if I could include the races into it, but I can't do that. John Justice is travelling pretty good. I must say, Louis Luai, the son of Sweet Lou, he could be trying to make it win 23 individual winners for Sweet Lou. I don't want to moz him, but Ross Payne coming to the outside or out another Nien may have given the rails run to the younger brother who is finishing off hard. Louis Luai is going to get there, and he does. So that brings up 23 individuals. Mark Hughes, you just sit back there, mate. I'll do it for you live. 23 individual winners for Sweet Lou, who's doing a great job this year. Can't believe that. I don't have a Woodlands hat nearby. Oh, there it is. I do have one. Sorry about that. It's good TV, but a good little run for that horse. He's been putting the writing on the wall, and Ross Payne does a good job. So there we have the Woodlands one. Rightio. Got a fair few comments coming through. Cam Bray's watching as well. I actually had the hat on. Cam Bray watches replays mainly. Again, he's a busy man. Has a couple of different jobs, so it can be a bit tricky. I'll get a couple of these others out. I'm going to get to Peter Ramirio's very, very shortly. Timmy White from New Zealand mostly watches replays as well. Don't watch things live. Daniel Hibbard's not far off joining me. He's, I'd say, on his way home, considering he just said done. El Murrow will watch Trots Vision, depending on the hosting panel, or replays on my phone. .g, I like watching live Trots Vision. Need more broadcast live. Yep, don't disagree with that either. .g, mainly on a phone for Al Morrow. So, and I think those things are key too, because the product that you put out, as I said, you can watch Campbell's comments on YouTube on your big screen TV, but you can also watch it anywhere. Canberra, a lot of replays You're spot on. Now, Cam, this one, .g trials with a capital T. Okay, so going there. There is some news coming very, very shortly for that. I didn't like this one. I love this one. Peter Amirio. And welcome, Pete, and hello to you. Always love your contribution to this show. It's very much appreciated. Depends on what mood the wife's in. He may not be happy with me reading this out. If I'm allowed to watch it at night on TV with a laughing face, so he's been very cheeky. He likes listening to the wireless while he's working horses. So wonder what you listen to, Pete. 927 or one of the other ones. Mark Barton's ringing me, but he'll work it out. He'll know that I'm live. Either that or he might want to talk to me. If you're watching and you want to talk, or listening, you want to talk to me, mate, by all means send me a message and we can go from there. Happy wife, happy life. I don't know if he'll be happy after that, Dot, but that's okay. You got to have a little bit of fun. But Pete, if you are still online, I giggled when I saw that, and I was talking to Troy. I thought, must get in touch with him at some stage in regards to that one. What I am going to do a bit of a recap for the week just gone. I'm going to get Daniel Hibbard, so I am very quickly just going to play my last of my promotional ads, and then we'll.
Woodland Stud takes pride in their involvement in the industry, both on and off the track, supporting harness racing through sponsorship from grassroots to feature racing, giving breeders access to world-class stallions who go on to produce world-class racehorses, selling progeny at sales from some of Australasia's strongest families. Harness racing is our passion, and we will continue to strive for greatness. Your success is our success. Share the dream with Woodland Stud.
Right, we are back, and I have Daniel Hibbard. Daniel, I don't know if you heard Peter Amiro and his comments about how he watches things, but I appreciate his contribution to our show. It might be the last time he contributes.
Has he got two TVs?
No, clearly not. Clearly not. So
That would be the simple solution.
It would be. But anyway, it would be interesting if I have two listeners in the family watching the show anyway, because he might have a black eye now. Getting a fair few more people getting back. Sorry, .g likes watching live trial vision. Okay, as well. Need more live broadcasts. Yep, don't disagree with that. I'd like, as I said, we've said it a few times, Neville Pangrazio, hello to you, mate. You had a winner during the week, and we will get to that very, very quickly. El Melro, the reason she likes it on the phone, I think this is a few things for a few people, but is easier when riding a horse out in the bush, and then life after racing standardbreds. Click it. Okay, out in the bush. The life after racing standies often flick an ear back to the audio when they hear the races. Oh, she's being cheeky. Sorry, I thought there was a little bit more in that, but it was, going from there. Gary Newton from South Australia. Hello to you, Gary. I told you it'd be a quick show. I haven't even started on what I'm meant to be doing, Daniel. SA replay trials on Botcher website, including Mount Gambier, thanks to Philip Wood. So you can go and watch those there, but we should possibly try and get them going a bit louder. But the SA guys, I must say a big thank you to Gary Newton. I gave a rap to Riverine and Paceway, Daniel, and also the Bendigo Greyhounds, Troy Harley and Charlton, for their contribution to promoting my industry and all the rest. Gary Newton does a great, my business, Gary Newton does a great job as well for me in South Australia as well, getting me on his show quite regularly. So I well and truly appreciate it and do really enjoy the feedback, as I do some of the ones here on the phone. How do you consume your races, Daniel? And how do you, two-part thing, right? We'll go with socially or relaxing. How do you consume your racing?
Well, it's actually an interesting story because I just bought a brand new TV on the weekend, and it's pretty big, and it's got good Wi-Fi. So I plugged in Trots Vision last night and watched the Trots at Shepparton, and said I felt like I was in a movie theatre. It was brilliant.
Yep.
So I watch most of the races I watch is on Trots Vision. I find it a lot easier because I'm on the road a fair bit. If I'm in the car, I'll be on RSZ pretty much religiously, and then I do get to watch a fair bit of racing on the guys' channel, obviously in the Formula box a lot. So I get a lot of different ways of listening and watching. sort of all different forms. But Fox Vision is good, but it can be so much better, and hopefully they listen to the ideas that have been put forward. In particular, the dead air that's between races, like last night at Shep, Lockie was calling the races, he finished calling the races, and then you're looking at the time truck for the next 20 minutes. I mean, it's such a valuable commodity, that air time. You've got to be putting stuff on it. You can't just have nothing. It needs to be picked up. Whereas the weekend stuff where you've got the panel on Saturday night and you've constantly got stuff on, it's really good. But that dead air during the midweek needs to be filled with something, because it just ruins the effect of it, I think.
Couldn't agree more, and hopefully they are getting to those sorts of things. We've got quite a few people watching.
It doesn't have to be live.
No.
I mean, if they've got some of these Facebook stuff, videos and things that they've been doing, just put them on.
Yep.
That's all. Not everyone's going to have Facebook, so just put those videos on between races. You get more coverage. I mean, it seems pretty simple to me.
When you're calling races and getting ready to call greyhound races and doing the form, how many replays do you watch, mate?
Not a great deal, but I mean, certainly, there's that many races on. It's pretty hard to sort of, assess the form of all the dogs in the races. And I think for me, it's, because I call predominantly at PDO, obviously at Sandown as well, I've got a feel for those dogs. Because when I go to the other traits that I've sort of got to have a bit more of a study, but, most of them, you've sort of seen them a few times, you know what they go like, so it's pretty easy to do the form without watching too many replays.
No, it is. You're getting into that borderline dodgy area as well, but you'll come back.
I'm still in Bendigo.
Oh, yeah. Geez, it doesn't sound good. Okay, that's okay.
I'm coming up to the Epsom BP, so that doesn't all go well.
I can safely say Pete Ramiro has survived at least the next half hour, so his comeback is quite good, Daniel. He can only afford one TV. He's got horses. It's a fair comeback.
Fair call.
Rightio. We were on air last week. This was what I was going to do. I thought I will just go through all the race results, because I don't have to have this computer box with you on it, if you like, and taking up the screen for me. No filter. I don't think we saw that one. We might have still been on air when that one for Mickey Blackmore. But Sweet Creation, Glenn Bull doing a good job, isn't he, with a small team?
Yeah, really good. And that horse was, I think, back off the map too. I think there was a fair bit of coin invested on it from a decent quote in. I probably just mapped really well that it was going to lead, and once it led and got a cheap enough quarter, it was always going to be hard to beat. But it had been looking to win a race and got the job done last week.
No, definitely. And then Kalani Heidi for Damien Wilson, as always, just keeps getting the job done. Does a good job. That horse finds its mark, sticks in it, has a lot of fun. Damien Wilson flies under the radar as an accomplished person doing something. And then Maloo Gunslinger for Trish McVie. Congratulations, Trish McVie and James Herbertson taking out the last. I've got a question here. Well said, Daniel. Why not pre-record some interviews or segments? So Gary Newton is in agreement with you, Daniel. So he might, you never know, Gary might be, you might end up on South Australian radio. He's not a bad man, Gary, when you're looking for a bloke. He can talk all right, Daniel. Don't you worry about that. He's got a passion for harness racing and greyhound racing, and a very undersold race caller. Hopefully I've made you blush there, Daniel. So where did we go the next night? Ballarat. And Jason Lee and Matty Horsnell took out the first one. I'll come up to some. Jeff Senior, great to see him. Icicle, Jackie Barker, she won the second race or third race tonight. She's going terrific, Jackie, isn't she?
Absolutely, driving really well, and from not extensive opportunities, but when she does get on the right sort of horse, she's always hard to beat.
Graham McDermott celebrated his 50th birthday, I think, about 2 weeks earlier, and got the chockies with Waikari Maxwell with the 3-year-old maiden trot. The good drive, good patient drive. He knows his way around trotters, and it was good to see from my point of view. Don't know if you've had a lot to do with Graham, but he's a good friend, and great to see him getting another winner, mate.
It was a good race. I actually remember watching that at Sandown on Thursday night last week. It was a very patient drive. Didn't knock the horse around. Just made sure it did everything right. And that's obviously the key with trotters, but it did a really good job to win there.
Prince Sierra was a very, very good win. Sue Terry Maxwell was a great win. It was indeed. 100%. As a fringe dweller, Sue Terry, I'd love to know how you watch the races now that you got involved. Brittany O'Brien with What a Flynn, Johnny Keldo. And then we've got Coco Rocks for the Stewarts, Mosaic Art for the Stewarts, and then rounding out the last, Cobber with Jeff Webster and Ryan Sanderson. I'll tell a lie, second last. One of the good guys of the sport, Ronnie Common, taking out race number 9. Johnny Keldo got a driving double too, so I would have got into trouble. Guess what, mate? There's actually 10 races. And the last one is one to talk about as well. But Ronnie's one of the great blokes of the sport, always very happy. So well done for him for getting the chockies with Majestic Jewel. Yes, Joe Pace, don't disagree. Interview the trainer before the next race. There's a lot of things we can do. We get you managed how to stir up the hornet's nest better than me tonight, mate. Don't you worry about that. Good to have Joe on.
I've got another baby on it too, but we might hold on to that one.
Rightio, we'll see how we go. Next week I was going with the people's holidays, but you might change my mind. Alpha Male, though, what a good story this is for the Schultz, Dale Eastman. The son of Majestic Son could have done anything worldwide. This horse, I actually sat with John Bootsman years ago when he won the Breeders' Crown, I think it was, and he said that horse should be travelling worldwide. He was that good a trotter. Great to see him back, and that rounded out a treble from Ballarat for Mark Pitt and Emma Stewart, mate. So I don't mean to gloss off over those guys. They win a lot of races. They get a lot of coverage as well, and that's probably one of the things I try to do on Loose Lines is make people aware of some of the lesser known people, if you like, going from there. So look what you're doing now, Peter Ramirio. He says good idea. Trainers could even advertise on there maybe, and now Pete might be able to afford his second TV if we did that, mate.
That's exactly right.
we could go from there. Right, some good stories on Friday from Mildura. Ryan Sanderson got a treble, which was really, really good. It was actually his birthday, Daniel.
How old is he?
Great question. I think he may have been 21, actually, but he was 21, so that was a really good story. Connor Clark so far has driven a double. I'm quickly going through those. An interesting little side note, and I'll get to it when I finish up my roundup for Bendigo. Ryan Sanderson again. No, Connor got a treble as well, so well done to the two young gentlemen. Wayne Hill made the trip across from South Australia. We got the South Australians on. Unlike Geordie Leadham to miss out on a Mildura meeting getting a winner, and Jaden Bruin as well. Geordie got a double, so well done to the young gentlemen there, doing a good job. They are very, very keen. Alex Hurley, please ignore what I just said to you just then. I don't know, I hit a funny button and my phone came up and Alex's name was underneath it, so just ignore that, Alex. We then moved to Bendigo, and this is where I wanted to showcase a little bit of the night. I was fortunate enough to be there. Brett Shipway, 12% winners to runners at Bendigo track. How's that for a stat for you, Daniel?
That's not a bad... I hear he had new wheels as well.
Yeah, Lockie misses nothing, does he? Hey, as good a caller as there is in the industry, I think. Undersold Lachlan McIntosh. It's his wit that I love. He is a very quick-witted man, and he just brings those little things in when he can, doesn't he?
He does. It was a good win. I trying to remember where I was. I think it was in the car driving home. But
no, you weren't. You were calling Bendigo Greyhounds.
I was driving across. That's right. I was driving across because the first was at not till 7 o'clock. And I heard that, and good to see him get up and win. Yeah.
Unfortunately for the producer, I was doing Trots Vision on that night, and it happens to the best of us. We couldn't get race 1 on that night. Sometimes you need to reboot at the wrong time, and it just came at the wrong time for Sam. So, I was there, but there was a technical issue, and I can promise you, doing what I do, Daniel, you know as well as I do, I've been ready to go sometimes, and things just stop all of a sudden, and that's what happened to poor Sam. It was his first official night on his own, and it did that to him. So, it can be very frustrating, that's for sure, which is one of the things with going live. Takani, Brad Stevens, Ashley Manton. Brad Stevens is a lot of Bendigonians like Brad for what he does. He does a great job. Ash Manton doesn't drive a lot of horses, but did a very, very good job. Made a killing. Didn't this horse go good in a very, very good race for trotters? Greg Sugars said the stable was very confident, and I tell you what, went very, very good winning race number 3.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember it. There's that many races. You'll have to refresh my memory.
Rightio, just jumped to the front, beat a nice field. Sean O'Sullivan, he won it was an up to 10 win race with Rockin' Tommy Rules for Alex Ashwood. He's working 2 days a week, and Alex is rewarding the young man by putting him on there. I'm going to give a big shout out to Blake Pace. I think he is Joe's son. If he's not Joe's son, I think he's related, but I see he got suspended there. I'm not sure exactly what he got suspended for, but moderate tempo and took off, put himself into the race at the right time. He couldn't get to the death. Okay, that's possibly what he got. Yeah, it looks like that's what he got for. So he squeezed back in and almost got the chockies. But sometimes those races, Daniel, those up to 10 win driving races, the drivers can get a bit nervous and a little bit anxious, if you like. The speed had come out of the race. Abby Sanderson went to the front and she stacked them up pretty nicely and probably a little bit slow. And, Blake showed initiative. I really liked it. And it's his nephew, Joe's saying to me now, and I think it was a good drive. Unfortunately, he got suspended, but I'd say that's what it was for, because it did look a little bit tight. But he didn't bring anyone down. But he probably deserved it if that is what it's for. But all in all, I thought well done to the young man, because I thought it was a good little aggressive drive, Daniel.
Certain races, because if those drivers of the same calibre, I guess you could say, and those, to make those sort of moves, you can get a bit nervy sitting in there and think, oh, do I go or do I stay? And you got to be gutsy and make the decision. And he made the decision to go. Hasn't quite worked out, but you can't knock him for having a crack, because that's what I guess punters and that sort of get worked up about. If a horse is not able to, or not doesn't get into the race, but it's always out the back. Makes it hard for them to win. So you've got to be aggressive sometimes, and it was good to see him show that bit of initiative to try and get into the race.
Joe Pace has given me the thumbs up. He says he likes that. I don't know if he likes it, whether I said he deserved the holiday or the aggression. No, I just think it was one of those ones to showcase. And then I must say on Trot's Vision, mate, the next race, Bonnie Bell, Ellen McDonough drove that horse, and it's one of those things. It was a horrible drive. Al came on and basically said it, a person that doesn't go around a lot. Like, I think sometimes we get caught up, if you win a race, you've done a great job. And it was an ugly drive. Al owned it and said it was an ugly drive. And he got the chockies only just. Craig Turnbull's watching. Abby Turnbull, and I'm going to get to the Abby in a minute. We've got to wait till we get to Shepparton and Alex Hurley. You've got to hold on to when we get to Shep. We'll get there from last night. But Heritage Lady was one eye-catcher of a run, I must say, Daniel. It flew home from a mile back for Abby Turnbull.
It's got to be driven sort of the one way, and that's with the whole sit. And the race was sort of panned out the way. I actually was in the box at Bendigo. I did see this race. And I sort of watched the monitor, and I thought, well, I can watch the last 400 here. And she was flying around. I thought, she's just going to win. When they went past the last part, I saw live. I thought, she's just going to win. But the other horses picked back, and it was a very ugly drive on the favourite. But the horse made it look good by winning. It was a cracking race, and I think you could follow those two horses with a bit of confidence.
Got Lee Sutton watching. The next race I'm going to highlight, he actually ran last in with Shoshone Brave. But hello, Lee, good to see you back on the show. Poor old Abby Turnbull. I may have gone the early crow. I actually predicted So Extra could get the chockies at $14, and with about 50 to go, I put the hand in the air and was celebrating. An American Legacy for Brett Lilly and Chris Elford. It's a horse of the future, mate. It's got some strength about it. It's a son of American Ideal, which it does help when I'm looking after the sponsor's product. But Jesus, tough, and it's got a fair will to win, I must say.
Yeah, it had no right to win that race. I think So Extra had it pole, so for it to get off the canvas and win was pretty remarkable. He's doing he's got a really good record since coming across, so you can't knock him.
No.
Don't know what the ceiling is on it, but at this stage he's doing a really good job.
I reckon he'll be the sort of horse comes back as a 6-year-old and people are going to go, wow. He'll race through to his 6, and then all of a sudden they're going to be going, wow, look at this horse. So he's big and he's raw. Then Julie Douglas and Glenn Douglas, they took out the last 4 races, I think. Yep. just got to make yourself look good when you got everything in front of you. But Abby Turnbull drove a double. Alan Tormey drove the other double. They were pretty impressive, I must say. Golfo Paradiso, lovely horse that took out the second last race on the card, but very, some nice wins there for them. Abby Turnbull drove a double. Ryan Sanderson drove 3. Great effort for the Sandersons that had made the big move from Newcastle to set up to give the kids every chance at driving some winners, mate. And I reckon there'd be Naomi and Shane would have been pretty proud parents on Friday night, probably right through till, I don't know, hopefully I'd say they're still proud. I think we're all proud when we have our kids, but they would have been had a pretty good smile on their face, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're both the Sandersons are driving really well. Whitey particularly driving with a lot of confidence. Probably the one at the Chef last night, he probably would have liked to have had again, but other than that, he's driving exceptionally well.
He actually wins the first race. I'm not worrying about Melton because I did Melton the other night with my Sunday session. But he actually won the first race at Cranbourne the next night with John Justice. So he's driving good. There's no worries there at all. I didn't have a good look at Cranbourne. I'm just quickly going through. Ben Yole and James Herbertson. Alan Tormey's had a double. There was actually a dead heat. The Mark Gurry and Associates 3-year-old Shark Attack and Lady in Line dead heating was an interesting one. Commander Buzz, that beautifully bred horse. You don't say that about too many betting lines. I'll get into trouble for saying that, but he is a lovely bred horse. Commander Buzz being a half to Safari. He's doing a good little job. Our Safari, what's the chances of that? The next race was won by Our Safari's son, with the Mickey Bellman in the cart. And then Rory Coverdale got her second winner at Cranbourne. I think it would have been only her second winner in a week. But then I had a little chuckle to myself in a way, like the racing gods. They bring you back down to earth. Runs last in the next race, the Nutrien Equine Trot. So it's strange how it can work. Harasta Trotters, they won the last with Iron Love. We keep saying this, mate. Another son of Love You. They just keep winning.
They do keep winning.
They just keep.
I've got one in the favourite.
You've got one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have to. Where is he? We must find out about him one day.
He's back in work. He's probably been back in work a month. So a little way off just yet.
Right, we then go to Stall. Gabrielle Simmons, of course, driven by James Everton. As I said, the guys that knock up winners all the time. They get their lot of play. Sam Barker's doing a really good job with his team, small team, mate. Charisma King got the chockies. Shannon Edwards and James Herbertson. James got a double there. He got a treble. Actually, he won the next race for his father with Follow the Eclipse. Aaron Dunn, one to highlight this one, mate. 100 winners as a trainer. Great effort because for a long time he trained in his father's name. So he's done a great job. He hasn't been out on his own for all that long to get that 100 winners. He did have a licence for a while, but I think it's only been the latter years that he's really had a red-hot crack at the training ranks.
Yeah, well, you'd reckon that probably 70% of those winners have been in the last 3 or 4 years. It's been a really good effort by him to have a real crack at it. And when you've got the quality of some of the stock that he's got, obviously one in particular, but the ones that are behind the good ones, they're just as handy.
Yep, definitely. Diane Giles, she got a double. James Herbertson, so he actually had, I think that's 3 winners. He may have had 4, so I might have to stop being so harsh on him. He's had a fair day out at Stall anyway, James Herbertson. And then Jackie Barker, as I said, so that's 3 winners for the week that we've captured over the top. And then Kelvin Barker and Jason Lee, I worked with Mitch Barker at Trots Vision at Bendigo. And good to see them getting a winner with Sweet American and American Ideal horse going from there. You're not out in the cold now, mate. You've got a fair idea where we're going here with Shepherd, and you might be able to give me a bit more input into some of these. Eddie Tapp, well done to Eddie. Isn't he having a good run, Ed, at the minute?
He is having a good run. This is probably the more of the surprising ones for this one to win. Probably the lesser of the 3 ones that he's got. But to get up at 30-1, he's just scared. The horses are just going well. It's taken a fair time for him to get to this point. He's been very patient with them. He's done a lot of work at the trial, but he's getting the reward. And 30 to 1 was a big result, but thoroughly deserved.
I really appreciate people's contributions to this show, and Alex Hurley's actually sent a message in around Millie and basically saying about winning the maiden trot. Pacing Bread, which I did see with the Rock and Roll Heaven, and I have seen a Heaven trot before, but then Alex says there that it goes right back to Lombo Repeater, or not right back, but back to Lombo Repeater. What a champion mare she was. You sort of forget some of these really, really good mares, don't you? And yeah, she was a cracking mare, I must say that one. So
that's probably nearly three or four generations. So you sort of lose track of how good the line, some of those lines are.
And then she tells me that Spun Silver is from a half to Jovial J Lombo, Jovial Journo Lombo, but it's the way she wrote it on me little message that got me tongue tied and twisted. Has a little bit of trot in the action. Let's see if Alex brings it back and tries to trot it, mate. That'll be a bit of fun. So she won't be the last person to try those things, that's for sure. Neville Pangrazio, we had him on earlier. Tequila Brie, good family. Good to see him getting the chockies too, Nev. So congratulations there. Shuey Roffica unfortunately got suspended, so don't like seeing that. But the old DS. Craig Turnbull. Now, this is where my Abbey thing's starting to come back in. But Craig had, I think, 2 horses run second at Bendigo, or 2 horses Alva drove through the week, run second. Had a good night out though. Maddie Ray, great to see Maddie getting a win there in the Saddle World Shepparton Pace with Ashford's Secret. So good little start tonight for the Turnbulls, wasn't it?
It started off very well. I did hear this race, and I was driving home and heard it, and yeah, obviously well supported in the betting, and yeah, led all the way.
Then we'll skip one race. I'll go back to that in a minute. But Florence of Quintal, I'll go with, bought up a double for Craig with Abbey partnering this one. So that was a great little result. And I reckon, yeah, then they got race 7, Made to Rock. So Craig's had 3, Ab's had a double, and Abby's great friend Maddie Ray has driven one as well, plus 1 second at Bendigo, maybe 2 seconds at Bendigo. And then the kicker, mate, because anyone that knows Abby Turnbull knows that she goes out with Brad Chisholm. Some of Abby's biggest success have been on a Greg Lewis horse. They weren't going to be left behind and did the right thing by me. They won the Barristock Pace, race number 8. Good little family tie, isn't it?
Yeah, they've had a big night. Yeah, you couldn't have seen Brad being too happy about Abby getting all the winners. So he had to drive one with a really good effort to score. Got to the front, then handed up and got out to win. And beat Treacherous Rock, but that horse, Little Demon, is going very good. But yeah, the really impressive, mate. Flew out of the gate. Stopped a bit of pressure, still too good. I was taken by Florence and Quintal there, but it was a really good, and had a really good run prior, and probably wasn't really, shouldn't have really got into the race. It was only a sprint trip, and they went pretty steady in the middle half, but it was at the back, but it's come from miles back to score. So it's a pretty good effort to come off a slow speed win, and yeah, the other one, that's Secret, able to lead all the way.
Anyone that is watching, the white thing over the back of me, that is called Nulla. That's a stray cat my wife found on the railway line, and she's managed to get herself in the house and ruling the roost, and she's sitting up over the top of my shoulder, Daniel. You won't be able to see it, but yeah, it is there. Lee Sutton's actually asking who my mate is, so there you are, Lee. That's it. She's actually going to cause me some grief. Come here. You can stay here. No, don't pull the cords out. She's a little bit seasonal, so she gets herself into some funny little spots. She's going to be fixed up very, very shortly, so we'll work that part out. Lee Sutton won the last. I picked on him before, but Kent Harpley, well done for them guys for taking out the last as well, with a son of Restrepo too, which is pretty cool.
It is good performance, really good performance.
I reckon my daughter realises that I've got a white cat happen here. Julie Douglas, they keep getting winners after winners as well, with Two Sock Creek going there. I reckon the girls might be watching me show, Daniel, because all of a sudden my daughter's come up to save the day, so I don't know what's going on there. And then She's a Pleasure was the other winner on the night for the Aikens, who do a good job. So, but I will say, my question to you, Daniel, Tell me the last time an Abbey has driven 4 winners in the week. It could have been a lot more too, don't worry about that. It could have been 4 at Bendigo, but it's not the sort of name we see in harness racing a lot, but it's great to see 2 young girls doing a terrific job.
Yeah, absolutely. Good winners. Put your name up and like to sort of get more opportunity.
Yeah.
You just got to, when you get on a roll like that, you just got to keep it going.
No, definitely do indeed. Now, I forgot at the start of the show, I wanted to bring this up at the start of the show, but Sue Terry is on there. But I believe it's a Tatura. I do know the name of it. I'm going to get myself into trouble. But anyway, they have got a show, and they're showing standardbreds. They've actually got horses in training. So you have to prove that the horses are in training and a lead class. So to get a different way for people to look at the industry. So well done to Sue Terry and that for thinking outside the square. I am going to get in trouble because I know what the place is called, but it is definitely the Tatura Park. If my daughter had to come back up, she might have told me, but Tatura Dressage is what it is. Sue's got back to me. So yeah, so if you're in the Tatura area, call in. I believe it's on Saturday, and then the races are on Saturday night. So good little side note to get involved in, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the setup at Tatura there. You've got me on the hop too. I should know the name myself, but it's a really good setup there at Tatura. They have, pretty sure it's where they have International Dairy Week. So it's top-class facility.
I can tell you, I've never been to a Tatura game, but they're the Bulldogs, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah, because I can remember the signs and things like that. Well, and there you go. Blanche Poole, Fire and Grace will be there. Might win a ribbon. So Blanche Poole's going. So that is terrific. Fire and Grace. We talk about Craig Turnbull and some of the great stories. Daniel, I don't know if you've watched that on my interview with Stacey Towers, but Fire and Grace, Craig got hurt a little while ago. Fire and Grace is actually that horse, and it's great to see that horse. I think it's had 4 starts now. Hasn't missed a place. Anyway, definitely won 1 race and goes terrific for Stacey Towers. Will win more races and now is going to a show. So the harness people are doing a great job. And one of the great things I did notice, you watch a lot of things in your feeds, and when you put stuff up, Daniel, Stacey's actually taken 3 as well for Sue Terry. So there's a fair bit going on with that. Don't you worry about that. And Craig's there now. When I put the interview up with Stacey Towers, I reckon within the first 4 or 5 people to actually like it was Craig Turnbull. So, I think that's a measure of the people and where they are at. So, yeah, because it, pretty harsh set of circumstances. I missed race number 5 at Geelong, but I can tell you number 2 won the race. I can go back to that very quickly and tell you if I hurry up, but that's all good. Right, mate. I'll let you go. You've got a topic for me next week. You're thinking about it, or you've got it, or you're going to wait and just...
I have got it. We'll discuss off here, but I think it's an issue that needs to be looked at, particularly up the Golden Valley area. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm interested to find out what people think, but we'll get onto that next week.
Rightio, mate. Thank you very much. I actually forgot one of my sponsors very, very quickly. I must look after Darren Aiken, of course, in the safety specialist for all your embroidery needs as well as your tag and testing. Give him a call on 0400 309 902. So I got that one out, Daniel. I had to get rid of your photo though because you were on it as well, so it doesn't work that way when I do that, so it looks a little bit silly. Right, mate, this has been On Loose Lines. I told you I didn't have much to do, and I've gone for an hour and 10. Goodness help us when we have a lot to do, that's for sure. I never know what will happen. Well done, everyone. I got a winner over the week. Well done to that. I had a great little chat with John Dumsney too. Anyone on that border down there at New South Wales and Victoria, positive things happening for harness racing in New South Wales. So I encourage people to watch that. And a little teaser, tomorrow night I've got a big announcement for Lower Long Farms and Dr. Kath McIntosh. Will be aired about 6 o'clock. So breeding, thinking about who you're going to send your stallions to, just sit back and wait for that interview to come out. It's a really, really good interview. Daniel, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
I shouldn't say it's a good interview too. That's like saying I'm the world's #1 show. It's very important interview, and it's great, and it's innovative. People thinking outside the square. Right, mate. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Safe travels home. At least it's not raining. And I'll catch up with you if I don't see you before, and I'll catch you next Wednesday night, mate.
Well,